Yeah, you want
to do our clap thing? Do you guys know about the clap thing? Yes, we do. I can't clap because I have this mic. So, please.
Oh, we clap as well?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 13th episode, lucky number of Unsigned Berlin. This is Anais and Isac from the band Kings and Pills. And yeah, we're excited to have you guys. Anais is the vocalist, the lead singer, front woman of the band, and Isac, you're the drummer.
Yeah.
So sweet. Let's just dive into maybe, can you give a little bit of background information on the formation of the band, how you guys met, a little bit of why you moved to Berlin?
Yeah.
All at once?
Oh gosh. Maybe what do you think? Band first?
Why you moved to Berlin first, I think?
Berlin
and
first.
then we can hear about the other
It'll
members
gradually,
and stuff and not leave them out.
Wow.
Well, I actually wanted to move to London, so I was looking at BIM. A friend had applied there, and I just looked it up. But yeah, it was a bit complicated with the UK, so I just chose Berlin, I guess. And that is the story.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a friend that's in the second year in school here in BIM Berlin. So I was just like, well, I didn't really know what to do with my life, and I thought, well, I could study music. And so I just contacted her and asked if she liked the school, and she was like, yeah, it's great. And I guess now I'm here.
And you guys are both in the songwriting course, but you're playing drums. And
yeah.
Well,
so did that just...
That has to do with our brief we had in ensemble class. So we were just put into 3 groups. We had to write to a brief, an indie rock song. And you just like have to pick a role, basically. So I just chose top lining, lyrics, that kind of stuff. And like in the songwriting course, there are not a lot of drummers. And he knows how to play a bunch of instruments. And we really need the drums for indie rock. So he was obviously on drums. Then there were a few other people. And yeah, that is how we wrote Daddy Issues, actually.
No way. So that was from the briefing of the actual class.
Which is crazy.
It was the first week of school.
Yeah.
No way.
We just came in and made a banger.
Sweet. And then how much were you involved in the writing of that? Was it just mostly you, or?
Him and like another guy were on arrangements, and I was on top lining. So they did their thing, kind of. I just went home and like I thought I'll just write the lyrics, write like whatever. Like we had to finish it pretty fast. It was our first time doing this, so I was just like, I don't know what to put here. I'll just put da 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 for now. Daddy issues. But yeah, I was a bit, I don't really know these people. I don't want to make a fool of myself. So I was like texting with this other girl that was in the brief group. And she was like, no, that's really good. We'll talk it out on Friday and we'll see how it goes. And then we had the next rehearsal. And they were like, do you have any lyrics? And I was like, yeah. That's exactly how I responded. I did
just
not
like that.
I did not want to show the lyrics. I did not, because I don't want to put myself out there, you know. But I did have to do that, obviously. And the band thought it was great.
Yeah.
Like we didn't think from the start that it's great. But like once we had the dress rehearsal and stuff, and like people actually liked it, and I thought we should have this produced. Like, why not? It's a great song, and it's not really, like, I've never really written like in this genre, right? Like, we don't really write in that style.
Yeah.
So we did kind of say we would put it under my name at first, because, like, we don't have a profile. But, yeah, like, I don't know, the song, Albus, shout out to Albus. He produced it for us and did a great job. And so we were like, this is turning out to be a bigger project.
Yeah.
Do you want to write more songs together. And he said,
Yeah.
And that's why we're here.
And now we're here.
And
Yeah.
exactly.
and now we're Kings and Pills.
And how did the other members get involved with the band?
So it is kind of interesting because we were that group, right, that wrote the song. Like, we were put in a group in school, right?
Yeah.
We didn't choose the members, we got put in a random group. And then, yeah, we all just chose a role. And then when the project got bigger than we thought it was going to be, we were like, well, at least us two, we wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other members, they're kind of like, I mean, they helped us write this song, right? And then kind of moving forward, it's going to be us two songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we need, like, for live shows, for example, or something like that, like, we'll contact them and be like...
So these were all from the original group then?
Yes.
No way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
really.
the thing is, we were in the same friend group from before. That helped a lot. We would not be here if we were not friends from before.
Yeah, me and Anais knew each other before.
Yeah. So like
So that
we
really helped,
had a friend group from like it started at the induction events, like kind of like the first week.
Mm-hmm.
And like we just liked each other, like the whole group, and we were pretty sure we're making a group, it's gonna be us. And so it just so happened we were put in the same group for a school project.
Yeah.
And so it did make it easier. And like I would have not asked you like, hey, do you want to write more songs if we weren't friends from before, because I didn't know you. So that helps.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then so you started where you were doing the arrangement and top lining.
Mm-hmm.
Has that continued in the way that you're writing, or has it become much more
Yes.
like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're about to produce our second song when we get the schedule like ready.
Mm-hmm.
And the second song, it was basically like, well, I just hopped on an instrument and then I played and I was like, is this good? And they were like, yeah, that's good. And then she put the melody on top of it. And that's kind of how we worked with with the first song as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we had the arrangers, the instrumentalists, and then we had the lyricists and the vocals.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've kept that going. So it's
Yeah,
often
yeah.
me, I write the instrumental parts of the music.
Mm-hmm.
She writes the melodies, and then we kind of help each other out
Yeah,
if we
exactly.
get stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have two songwriters on a team, so you can, if there's like weak points, you can be like, oh, you
Yeah,
can do
yeah,
this.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like we do it all together. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
I come up with an idea and I'm like, we're gonna do this. Like
Yeah.
we meet and we write the song like,
Mhm.
from
yeah.
scratch.
Yeah. We book rehearsals and stuff.
Yeah.
And for drums, has that been something that you have more like had to kind of delve into and figure out how to do more intensely now that you're sort of the drummer as well for the band? I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't know really. Like the thing is, like I've always been a drummer, kind of. Well,
Mhm.
I've always like I've enjoyed music in general. Like I play a lot of different instruments, and I think that also kind of helped. Like as I said, like I wrote the guitar part as well for the next song and stuff like that. So it is kind of like an all-around thing
Mhm.
in a way, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you said that this isn't the genre you used to write in before coming
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
What's your usual? What would you immediately go to if this wasn't the project?
That was exactly what I was thinking.
Thing is, this is like kind of like a separate project that we kind of like. This is some things in somewhere where we'll just have fun and like just go like
Yeah,
before this
yeah.
really specific image. Like we're also like keeping all the time kind of the same outfits, the pink hair, a lot of makeup, kind of edgy makeup. So it's like a really, really strict image, like a really specific kind of music. So it's just like a character in a way. That's how we view it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like our personal songs, like I usually write. Oh, it beeped.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, kind of the whole idea behind the band was to do something completely different than we normally do.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you do kind of like orchestral, like, kind of poppy.
Yeah.
We both kind of write pretty depressing music, to be honest. And so this was like a complete 180. We're gonna go rock and roll. We're gonna just have fun, go crazy. And the whole image, you know, kind of reflects that as well. Like we wanted to have this specific image. Just like chaos, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Thing is, because like it is literally a character. Because like also when we had the end of term gig, like we had an audition for that, which was like really scary. But like in a way, it wasn't that hard because I literally take on the role of that character. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna like jump all over the stage. I'm gonna like shake my head, and that's like I never did that with my own music. You can't do that on my like the music I usually write. So it's like literally getting in that headspace and that character, and it was the same thing at the end of term gig, like just going crazy.
Cool. Well, it definitely probably feels like even if you're judged for it, you're not being judged for who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's something outside of you and it's like a project.
Exactly.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
And how much experience had you had like playing live shows?
I've had some. Like I've played with friends back home in like bars and stuff like that. But not in like this capacity. I mean like the end of the year gig, that's definitely like the biggest crowd that I've played to.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, I haven't really, only like in school things, so not really.
so you like went straight to like, I'm taking on a persona and I'm just gonna like jump around.
Yeah, because like when we had like songwriting ensemble, you need to sing in front of the class. It's like, I don't know, 20 people. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a stage and you have to sing. And like, it was so scary. Like I'm always like, my hands are going.
Don't you think that's scarier even than playing to a huge audience?
It is.
I always found.
So that's like, I was really scared. I would not ever be able to perform on stage. And then suddenly I need to perform in front of like so many people at the end of term gig.
Yeah.
And I was like backstage, because the thing is, half of the band was sick when we had the end of term gig, like so sick. Like half the band was on painkillers. I was
Kings and pills.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of pills.
A lot of pills. Like I was feeling so sick, and I had to go there and shake my head, and like I was getting really, really nervous that I won't be able to sing properly because my voice was fucked from all the coughing. And it was just like one of the band members was like, you can do this, you've done this before, you're gonna be good. Like I go on stage, I completely black out, but like it was a good performance.
It worked out.
It worked out. It was fine. Like people loved it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And just the end of your gig for people, because some people aren't from the BIM watching, is you like different bands from the university go up and play one song.
Yeah.
And then that's like 400 people maybe watching. I don't know what. I have no idea.
It's a pretty big crowd.
That's a
it was-
big
It's a
jump
packed
to have to
venue.
deal with.
It was a pretty big
Mhm.
leap. Yeah.
That's a huge deal to just go from like 20 people to
Right.
a whole.
Was that kind of freeing though, where you were like, oh, this is just so many people, I have no idea what I'm doing, I'm just going to go up and just like try? Because if there's a staging to it, it might be more like daunting. Yeah, if you're like blind.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it just, in general with the band, it helps with stage fright just because we do put on these characters. We are like more over the top than we actually are, you know. So that does kind of help. It puts you in another mindset in a way. But yeah, it was a bit scary. I mean, because we weren't really a band. I mean, we had rehearsed like a lot, but again, it came from just like a school project.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like we're playing in front of a huge crowd. It's yeah. I guess we were just moving so fast at that point that we didn't really like stop and think about how weird that was really.
Yeah.
And we were just going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. And what about the name? Since
good name.
I knew that.
It's a really good name. Yeah.
It's an interesting name.
Yeah. Just a little. Yeah. It's a really good name, though.
Yeah,
I
memorable,
agree.
which I guess is the most important thing.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
We just made it up on the spot. Well, I didn't have anything to do with it.
No, I was brainstorming so much. I had a whole ass list with such bad names, like going around with like trying to like royalties kind of, but then also like pills kinda, but like I don't know. I had like one was
you
like
have the list left?
pharmacy's book or something cassette. Like they were so stupid.
She just put like random words. It was like an AI trying
Yeah,
to
it was a
generate sentences.
generator.
But yeah, no, because we wanted to produce the song obviously, and at first we thought we were just gonna put it on her profile before we knew we were gonna be a band. Right?
Yeah.
So then after we knew we were gonna be a band, all of a sudden like, well, we need to have a band name.
Yeah.
And we need to like the song is about to be released. And we
Yeah,
don't-
we really need the band name.
yeah, like so it took like. I mean, we thought about it for like a day, and we were like, "Yeah, that's a good name. Let's just go for it."
It took a bit of convincing because I wasn't convinced myself. I said the name and I laughed.
And
So-
I also laughed.
Exactly. But then we met with Sophia, who kind of manages us and managed this song. So that's why we're here, because of Sophia, right?
Yeah.
And on the BIM magazine, she also did that. So yeah, we're just like talking with her, like, oh, we need to send the song soon to be released and stuff. And she was like, so do you have a band name? And we had just talked half an hour before, and like we were like,
We just kind of looked at each other like,
no. Well, we have this list. How about you read it? And then she was like, yeah. But then like we chose a few names, and she was like, I kind of like Kings and Pills. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like it as well.
yeah.
I'm so surprised it wasn't taken on Spotify already. Like, it's actually perfect. Like, I heard it and I was like, I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
But it actually,
Exactly.
you guys just scored. I feel
Yeah.
like it's a cool name. Even though at first you're like, what?
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
Yeah.
But that's also like the idea, I guess, with the
Yeah.
genre. Where it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
something that's
for
a little bit
sure.
shocking, but also like interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's kind of it fits the image perfectly. It's like kind of sarcastic, kind of, but still like it has its edginess to it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we got lucky,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
And you said you were brainstorming around royalty and drugs or medical. Why those two things? Because it's not related to this song, I don't
Because
think.
the thing is, when I look at like just our image, like I don't know, like I want like the royalty that, like I was thinking also like ace or like bishops or like chess. I don't know. That's what the vibe was, you know. It was just Yeah.
It's because it's a bit like sarcastic in a way, right? Like we're kings.
Yeah.
But we're making this like loud,
Yeah.
obnoxious music.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
It seems like you guys just kind of tripped and fell into this like rock star life a little bit. You're just kind of like, oh yeah, like now we're at Kings and Pills and we're on like, you know, Painkillers with our first gig. And, like,
Oh my god, yeah. I did not think of that.
I'm just taking from what you told me.
Yeah, when you put it like that.
Yeah. What the hell?
Just sticking to theme.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And is it okay if we use a snippet of the song to put in the podcast so people can listen to it?
Oh
For
yeah, of
sure.
course.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll play
So
it
we
now.
will play
But,
that now.
Sick of all the wasted lovers, finding it so hard to leave. You really fucked me up this time, like my daddy did to me. So I'm falling on the first time, as I am being left behind. 'Cause I'm drowning in my own blood, by letting myself be stepped on by. Da 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 da. Daddy shows. Da 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 da. Daddy shows. Da 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 da.
And then, so Daddy Issues is the name of the song and and the theme throughout. Is there a reason for that other than what you were saying with like just using the da 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 as like a filling almost?
Oh, well, the thing is, like, the brief we had was kind of, like, it was called Your Mom. So, like, we approached it, like, on the opposite. Like, we were like, well, we'll just do your dad. Well, you know, so we went with that.
Yeah.
With that, like, yeah, we were, like, the whole group was there, and, like, well, now that I think of it, you're doing your dad does not sound good. Anyway,
Yeah, I was.
yeah, I saw your face and I was like,
I wasn't gonna say anything. but, you know.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
great, I did. So we were just like brainstorming the POV of it all, and we were
Yeah.
like, okay, let's do like daddy issues,
Yeah,
Like-
it just kind of started off as a joke, and then we were like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, let's just do it.
Yeah. Let's-
Yeah, let's just roll with that.
yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that comes through as well in the song.
Yeah.
Where you can tell it's like clearly a joke, especially with the intro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, like
Yeah.
really over exaggerated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any like not concerns, but like worries putting out the song, being like family members are gonna,
Oh,
are gonna hear that?
yeah. I thought at first you were gonna ask me, do you have any daddy issues? But yeah, well, I didn't think of it at first, but then I was like, oh my god, like my dad is gonna hear this.
Yeah, my dad did text me. But it's also kind of funny because he doesn't really know the meaning of the word. He was just like, do you have like issues with me? I'm like, no. No, I don't.
No, I sent him the song like before it was released just to have it out of the way. I was like really scared, not gonna lie. I just sent him the song and he's like, oh my god, this is so good. This is so in trend, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, he does not know what that issues means.
Yeah. No, he likes the song. My dad likes the song, but he was a bit like, what does this mean? I didn't write the lyrics.
Oh, so you're blaming it on me. Great.
Yeah.
Well, another reason why, I mean, you guys are pretty, you're removed from the persona, and then also, like, removing yourself from the lyrics is a really cool exercise. Because
Yeah.
that's,
Right.
you know, you're just writing to a
Yeah.
prompt, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
yeah.
So how cool that you can just be like, yeah, that's not me, but
Yeah,
we can
exactly.
sing about it
Yeah.
and we can, like, kind of play with the
Exactly.
idea and
Yeah.
have it as our advantage in our first song.
Yeah.
So that's really fun.
Yeah, for stuff going forward where you're working on writing stuff now, you were saying you write stuff and then take it to Albus for kind of
Yeah.
to talk about and look at producing and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you still approaching songwriting with like a theme that you want to talk about, or is it more just kind of like going with the flow and then seeing if you can meld something cohesive out of it?
Yeah, it is definitely like going in. We're like, okay, we are this crazy girl with so many issues, like
So many daddy issues.
so many daddy issues. Like we are so extreme, so like self-destructive. Like we are going into that headspace. Like literally, like last week when we wrote that new song, like it's like we're keeping that image in mind, like the
Yeah,
whole
definitely.
time, like really going like into the depths of it and like just being that girl in a
Yeah.
way.
Cool. I like that a lot. Like going into the depths of it and being that girl.
Yeah.
Say that to
Yeah.
yourself every time you go
I
on
mean,
stage.
it also kind of just helps with the process because you're not like, well, it doesn't have to be like personal things that you write about, right? Because you do take on this character, and it allows you to be more creative in a way. Like, it's not about what you would write, but what this character would write.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And moving forward as well with singles and EPs and albums
Yeah,
or whatever,
for sure.
you can create a character arc around
Yeah.
Yeah.
what you've
definitely.
done, like The Weeknd does, where it's like a whole
Yeah.
character, or you can just switch. Like David Bowie did a couple different things.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
now we're done with this kind of thing. Still Kings and Pills, but like something else moving forward.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna be really cool to see the evolution of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so as you're recording these new songs, like your new projects, you said you're meeting every 2 weeks to write it, kind of a new song, like
Kind of,
loosely.
Roughly.
But what spaces are you using to record? Like, where are these sessions happening? Are you using the facilities at school, or are you, doing local studio sessions for your friends? What does it look like for like a just starting
Like
band in the city?
Recording aspect or like the songwriting? Yes.
I mean, both. I mean, it seems like at school you're probably
Yes.
songwriting,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
recording, where is that happening? School as well?
Yeah.
Other spaces?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
for Daddy Issues, we did use one of the studios at BIM. But yeah, like for the new song, for example, Isaac went over at Albus's to do the demo, for example.
Yeah.
So it's whatever he says, honestly.
Nice.
That goes.
Yeah, Albus does play a huge role in the band as well, even though he's like just the producer in a way. But it is almost like we write the song, and then we send it to him, and we're like, "This is your problem now. Solve it."
Okay, cool. So he's like really involved in the process. And then how did
Yeah.
you guys meet him, and how did that connection happen?
Oh, forgot about that.
Ah.
Well, like I said, I was after the performance in front of class, I literally told the members of the group, I was like, I want to have this produced. And like, I don't think they really took me seriously. I was like, I'm gonna be calling each one of you like in the studio, I'm doing this. And like at first I was like, oh well, I'm just gonna try and find a first year producer. Like I don't know any second year producers. So I don't know, maybe co-produce with someone, like try and work on it together. But I did, we took the video we had from class, because they video record our performances. It's a really bad quality video, but like we had nothing else. So I just sent that in the Telegram, like with a really long message, like, hi, this is what we wrote, blah, blah, like, it sounds a bit better in reality, but we really need a producer. And here is my number and Instagram. And Albus just like texted me on WhatsApp, and then I wrote to Isaac, and I was like, oh my god, like what now? He accepted. Like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because that also happened like almost overnight. Like we were just like, hey, if anyone's interested in producing, and then it was Albus who contacted us.
Yeah.
And we were like, shit, we didn't think we didn't think we'd get this far.
Seems to be a theme. Like you guys are just kind of like, what's going on? But it's working. Whatever you're doing, it's working.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of perfect timing as well, because we had Albus on before the new year, and he was talking about how he was like trying to get into more kind of grungy stuff, more kind of punk rock things. So it was like perfect timing for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, because he did mention that he really hasn't done that style before.
Yeah.
But we were just like, yeah, it's fine. You're great.
Yeah. He was also really booked, and he was like, I can only do one song for you. Like, I can't do an EP or anything. And we're like, we only have one song, man. Like, we barely have one song. Like, please.
Yeah.
No, but he was like excited to take the project on.
Yeah. And then recording it, you didn't do it live, right? Like it's separate parts recorded. What was the thinking behind that? Because for me, it's like if I think of punk rock as a genre, I think of it as like live performances recorded, which I don't know that much about it. But was what was the thinking behind doing them separately? Or was that just Albus on problem solving mode?
Yeah, kind of. It's also because the bassist was out of town, so we couldn't really do it live, right? So he just sent over like the bass that's in the song. It's just a recording that he made on his own, and then send it to Albus, right? So we couldn't really do it live anyways, and yeah, I don't know. I guess it was just a stylistic choice by the end of the day.
It's nice. It sounds very clean, and you can hear like, especially if I feel like for a new band, it's nice to hear all the parts, because if it's like an established thing. Right. Sometimes there's some give and take where you're like, I can't really hear this part, but I know it's good anyway, and the energy's there. Yeah. But
and it was also because it wasn't like 100% finished when we sent it to Albus. He kind of helped a lot with the arrangement as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's probably also a reason why we didn't do it live, because the mix and the whole song kind of changed a lot along the way.
Yeah.
From where it started to.
It's more flexible.
How it was when it was released,
How was the pressure on the recording day? Was it kind of weird since you were so used to playing live? Or was it pretty seamless? And it's kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah, it was like you did the drums like a few days before I had to do the vocals. So he met with Albus, another guy. Yeah. And it's like he hadn't even slept that night, and he was like 4 hours in the studio doing the drums. But you did a great job, so that's what's important. Yeah, no problem. But like vocals, like I was pretty scared, not gonna lie. Like he was like, okay, you're gonna get into this box now, and I was like, no, it's so small. But yeah, it was like really intimidating, and looking back at it now, I wish I had given like more character into the singing, but like I couldn't really do that since I was so nervous, and like I don't know. But it turned out all right in the end.
It's an all right
song.
Of course. No, I was just curious because I feel like as a vocalist, it's just different. It's a different world, on stage, because you can't really bang your head
Oh,
in the studio. Well,
Yeah.
you could, but
you're
the
gonna
mic
hit your
would be
head on
myth.
the box. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's a small box.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want
So-
to keep even for the mic and everything.
Yeah,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
of
Yeah.
course. You can't
And
have
live, everyone knows it's going to be mistakes on some
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then in studio, you're like trying to make it perfect, but maybe not too perfect, especially
Yeah,
depending on the
yeah.
genre. So it's like a
Yeah.
bit of a different skill set. I
Yeah, in
think.
studio you also have like time to get in your head. On stage you don't have time to think. There's
True.
like you just have to do it. But in studio, like you're like every take, and you're like, oh my god, it's just is it getting worse with every take, or is it getting better? I can't tell. I don't remember anything. I don't know what's happening. Anyway.
Yeah, especially long sessions. And by the end,
Yeah.
if you're listening to stuff and you're like, I think they're all the same. I think I can't hear any difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. No sleep, drums.
Right.
Gosh.
Too many pills.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't do drugs. No, yeah, it was interesting. I have not really talked about this to Albus. You know, I know him better now. I didn't know him at the time, but yeah, I was going with like no sleep, and I just like it was the first time meeting him.
Nice to meet you. And by the way, I had no sleep last night. Let's record drums.
Yeah, exactly. Let's record like loud, energetic drums. You know, it's gonna turn out fine. Well, it did. Yeah, I just didn't sleep that night. I don't have an explanation for why. I just didn't, and I showed up and I like faked myself through it. I guess I don't think he noticed. You know,
That's good.
Yeah, I fooled him.
He's behind the microphone.
He's been
not
fooled.
fool me.
That's awesome. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, for when you were writing, this isn't your usual genre. It is like something a bit outside the box. Was there still stuff you pointed at as influences, as things where you're like, oh, this is something we have in common, or was it completely blank slate, being like, let's just have fun?
Well, for Daddy Issues, it kind of was like just trying to write to the brief. But like with the song we talked about, like writing last week, like we are kind of like, it's like me at least, I'm kind of taking Royal and the Serpent as an example, because like she has a really, really set in stone image, like really, like it's really out there, you know? So like I am kind of like seeing her as, I don't know, someone to look up to when writing these songs, because she is that character. She's not only trying to be a character, she literally is that character. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always liked this kind of music, even though it's not the style I usually write. I mean, I kind of grew up on punk music in general as well. Like that was my high school years was punk music and indie in general. So, I mean, yeah. And then when we got the opportunity to write in it, you know, we just realized how much fun it was. And
Yeah.
we kept doing it.
Yeah.
You seem to have like a very specific image. It feels visual in the way that you're thinking about it. You just did a music video. Was that fun to be able to put that on something visual and be like, oh, this is
yeah,
like
for
really tangible?
Sure,
Yeah.
for sure, because it's like you know exactly what you want to go for, and it's just like also our directors Mick and Ebba, like they're really great. They wrote a script, like they presented it to us. Like I went to him with an idea, and like he just kind of made that idea better. And yeah, like he saw what we wanted to go for. So I don't like also like keeping this image like with the white shirt and like the rest of the band like black, like it's always a really specific image, and I feel like you can see that a lot in the upcoming video.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that like the experience of actually doing it fun as well? Because I feel like sometimes when you're planning, you're like, yeah, this is gonna be so cool, and then film has so many things.
Yeah, for sure. Like it was 2 long days, like really long days last week, but like it was really fun. Like I had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like I was exhausted by the end of it. Like on the first day, like I was getting like nauseous on stage from like having to bang my head
Yeah.
like all over and over again.
Yeah,
Like
on
I was
repeat,
actually
on repeat.
yeah, it was getting a lot, but like it was fun overall. Like just so many people being involved, like the whole band, the whole team, like producing, like filming, so many roles, lighting, like really fun just to also just see them doing their thing. Like it was amazing. They were so professional. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
awesome. Yeah. Well, super excited to see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
it should be out in like a month, about, if
Yeah.
everything goes according to plan. So,
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Is there stuff you had with recording the music as well as the video stuff through the whole process where you've been like, this is something going forward we like have to change, or just learning experiences where you found out ways that you like doing things more or anything like that?
That's a good
Or
question.
maybe everything went smoothly.
Well, everything did not go smoothly. But I guess we were just kind of unlucky in that sense. I mean, I don't think if we would do it again, like this whole process, would we change anything? I don't really know. I mean, it all turned out good, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we had troubles with like getting the schedule and all of that for the filming, because at first we had like a script with different parts in it. Well, like we had this whole thing planned out with the instruments, and then we later found out when we already had the script that we can't bring the instruments to the set. So then we had to change the whole script, and like stuff like that got in the way.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I mean,
uncontrollable.
yeah,
like-
exactly.
Yeah.
Like the actual process of it, I think it went pretty smoothly
Yeah.
Nice.
in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, especially for a first single.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing
Yeah.
to have it go smoothly and get at least kind of the feeling where you're like, I pretty much know it's going to work for the next one as well. You're like
Yeah.
happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a lot of help along the way. We could
Mhm.
not have done it like just us two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Like-
sure.
Yeah, like the BIM film people were really professional, and they were great to work with, and you know, Albus with the producing and all of that. Like, yeah, we can't take too much of the credit for
Yeah.
how well.
Yeah,
it
it's
has gone.
collaborative.
Yeah, it is
project and
collaborative.
everything.
Yeah.
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 I'm so curious about the future, but it's also hard to ask because this is just so much momentum, and you guys are just like, what's next?
Yeah.
But still really excited what you guys have to show in the next few releases.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
we can hear,
Mhm.
and with the video as well. So that'll be really cool.
Yeah. We've done a good chunk of time. We're at 45 minutes.
Ooh.
So, yeah, is there anything you guys want to promote the singles out everywhere, I think?
No.
Okay.
Daddy issues?
Stream Daddy Issues. Which camera?
All
All
of them.
All of them.
You stream daddy issues. You stream daddy
Daddy
issues.
Issues.
You stream
And-
daddy issues.
You stream Daddy
You.
Issues.
You.
Yeah.
You.
Done.
Me?
You stream daddy
All
issues.
right.
Great.
And with that, I
yeah,
think
thank you very
that's
much
it.
for coming.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you
guys.
for having us.
Was a
Yes.
blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kings and Pills, everybody, go check them out.
Yeah. And subscribe
Woo!
to get the video.
Yes,
Yeah.
check us out too. You're here already.
Yeah. Cool.